I decided to apply to become a magistrate because I've always had an interest in the law. I did a law degree a few years ago, and now I'm currently training to become a barrister. And I wanted to do something that has both an element of community contribution whilst also having some connection to the law. And considering becoming a magistrate was probably the best decision I've made so far.
I would echo that. I initially applied to do a law degree, but then kind of decided against it and went to become a social worker instead. So again, had a love for the law, still wanted to be involved in the judicial system. I knew that I could apply to become a magistrate because it's voluntary and you don't need to have a law degree to do it. So when the time was right in my career, I made the application. For me, I think, what I hope, is assuring the community that their experiences are kind of reflected on the bench. I suppose I'm a normal person, and so I feel like sometimes when defendants walk into the courtroom, I can see them relax a little bit, and I would hope that I'm able to uphold that public confidence that their experiences, what they're saying, is understood.
And I would say not just that, but also magistrates having such responsibility and having the ability to make such life-changing decisions is so important, and the fact that we are lay people, we come from the community, I think that's a massive positive point of the judiciary.
So I was quite fortunate that when I applied to become a magistrate, I was very much focused on my career, and then actually fell pregnant. So I wasn't working initially. I was able to sit more regularly, and then when I went back to work, I went back part-time, and so my employer is really supportive. I get 20 days off a year to sit, so I was able to kind of just continue sitting fairly regularly.
I also found it possible to meet the minimum requirements. The days that I didn't attend university, when there were no classes, I was able to commit to at least a full day's sitting. Now it's become slightly more difficult because I'm currently doing the bar course. But I found that even as a student, full-time, you're still able to commit to the very minimum of 13 days a year, and possibly even more.
Yeah, so you just go in and choose. So it works every 3 months. So 3 months in advance you give your availability. And I know that I can sit on Thursdays and Fridays, so you just mark the days that you're available. So many.
Yeah. Being balanced is a massive skill that I picked up. Probably every magistrate has developed their skills of listening very well, being assertive, and being balanced in their judgment. It's very easy as just a normal member of the public to read about a case and then to come to a quick judgment about it. But when you hear both sides of the story in court, then actually it makes you a better person overall in terms of having a very balanced mindset.
And also negotiating with colleagues. So obviously you have your bench of 3, so hearing people out, hearing their side, putting your side across, coming to a decision as a threesome that sometimes you may not always agree, but having that kind of respect and hearing everybody out. Processing lots of information, as well as having the different things that we have to take into account, around public safety, rehabilitation, opportunities. I sit in the youth court as well, so balancing kind of child welfare, prevention of reoffending, with the facts, the harm, all of that. That you have to be legally qualified, that you have to have some special background.
You have to be educated to a certain level.
Yeah.
There's no necessarily formal qualifications to become a magistrate. You have to satisfy certain qualities, but you don't necessarily have to have gone to university to become one. You just have to satisfy the committee that interviews you, that you have a number of qualities such as honesty, integrity, and good judgment. I would say go to the courts. All the magistrates' courts are open to the public. There's always a public gallery there for members of the public to come and sit in, and go and observe those members of the judiciary who you aspire to join. And I think when you see cases firsthand, that will definitely give you a flavour of what's to come if you do decide to go for it. And ultimately, just go for it. Definitely.
Absolutely. Just make the application, do it, yeah.